Hey everybody, hope you are doing awesome today. Today I want to share with you a very basic concept that is grounded in the work I've done with entrepreneurs for years now, and it's how entrepreneurs can create a 3-day weekend lifestyle in 90 days or less. Now, this is for a very specific group of people, and I'm going to clarify who this would apply to. So I want to make sure that this isn't for everybody. This is for people who are in a certain circumstance and have their business at a certain point where it's possible for this to happen. So I'm the author of the book, Put Your Money Where Your Soul Is, and founder of 3-Day Weekend Club and host of the 3-Day Weekend Entrepreneur podcast. I've helped people for years now, helping them make more money in less time, doing what they do best. If you're an entrepreneur, a freelancer, a business owner, and you have a steady business model, you've been doing it for at least a year, and you're making at least 80% of your target lifestyle income or more, and you're working at least 40 hours per week, it's probably possible for you to make more money, anywhere from 10 to 25% more money or more, in less time, 5 to 10 to 15 hours, depending on what you're doing what you do best in a way that's going to help you if you are able to implement these shifts. And so what I want you to first think about is your current situation. So if you're an entrepreneur or a freelancer and you've been doing this for a while, you started for a reason. Now, if you're watching this and you are working on starting a business, this is something that might apply for you for the future. The fundamentals still hold. It just might not be that you're able to create this in 90 days. But think about your current situation. Who would you like to spend more time with? And if you want, take out a piece of paper and write this down, but you started your business for a reason. You wanted a certain amount of freedom. And one of those freedoms, most likely, was the ability for you to spend time with the people you want to spend time with, the people you enjoy, the people you value, and that's probably important to you. The next thing is to look at what activities do you want to do more often? So it might be that there are activities you did when you were younger that you no longer do. It might be there's activities that you would enjoy with people you haven't seen in years that are part of a certain community. So I happen to play beach volleyball. There's a certain group of friends that I hang out primarily when I play beach volleyball. I don't see them if I'm not playing beach volleyball. And that's a group of people that's part of my life when I'm doing that. And when I'm not, they're not. So it might not always be the same people from that first question of who. It might be a different group of people, but also there's activities that I'm involved in, or it might be activities that I just do by myself that don't involve other people or don't involve any other particular people in my life, but they're important to me. Often these are going to be activities that maybe you enjoyed when you were younger. And if you've lost sight of doing them, sometimes it can feel like we're getting a lot older and life just isn't as fun as it used to be. Third thing, where would you like to visit, or where would you like to travel to or vacation to? And even if you're right now not looking at traveling at this specific moment, if it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now that you're considering, where would you like to visit? Like anything else, just like your business, if we want this to happen in your life, we're going to have to plan this. It's not going to just happen by itself. It's going to have to be something that you're intentional about and you're making happen. So these first 3 questions are kind of easy for some people. They might be a little hard to think about in the sense of, gosh, I really wish I was doing that. I thought I'd be doing that by now. I've been doing this 5 years or 10 years or whatever it might be. In my case, it took me about 15 years into being an entrepreneur to really start doing this the way I wanted to. And now, how important is it for you to make these changes? How important is it for you to be able to invest your time outside of work with the people you enjoy, doing the activities you want to do, traveling, whatever it is that makes you happy? How important is that for you? And then why have you been unable to make this happen? Not in a sense of beating yourself up, or not in a sense of saying, well, wait, I'm just horrible at business. If you've been an entrepreneur for certainly more than 5 or 10 years, you've figured out something, because a lot of people don't make it that far. If you're a newer entrepreneur, you might still be figuring out these things. But think about big picture. Why have you not been able to make this happen? Now, one of the most simple reasons I find is it was never a goal. So if this has never been on your radar to do this, that could be why it's not happening. Some people I talk to will talk with me for a little bit, or they'll hear a podcast episode or a presentation I do, And a couple weeks later, they'll say, oh, wait, I'm doing this now. What's that? Oh, I'm working to where I have a 3-day weekend, or I'm having the days off that I want. So it might not be specifically a 3-day weekend, but I've got the schedule I want now, Wade. Oh, how'd that happen? Well, Wade, I just decided to. I hadn't really done it before. I hadn't even considered it before. I'd thought about that I wanted to make more money over the years, and I decided, well, yeah, I used to make, I don't know, $5 an hour, then I made $10 an hour, then I made 20 and 30 and 40, and I've made more, but I never gave myself a free time raise. I gave myself income raises either by the way I pay myself in my business or the jobs I did. I constantly looked for jobs where I was evolving financially, but I hadn't yet evolved in a sense of free time. So I started doing that. So that's something that can happen. And then the final question, when are you going to make this happen? And so what I want you to take with you is I've worked with people that have made this happen in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years, 5 years. It took me 22 years after leaving college with a degree, so 7 years as an employee, and then 15 years as an entrepreneur to really lock this in for myself. When are you going to do this? If you're thinking you want to do it sometime soon, let me walk you through a process of how you can make this possible. I'm going to first describe the process, then show you some of the numbers behind it because math is involved here. It's not just vision and abstract concepts. There's tangible things that have to happen. So to create your 3-day weekend lifestyle, you want to see it, plan it, then do it. Like any other thing in your life, like your business, like a great experience of a vacation, whatever it might be. First, you list all the things you would do if you did not need to work and who you would do those with. And we're not going to do that right now, but I'm just explaining the process to you. So first you list what you're going to do and with who. Envision when you would spend your time doing these things. And so many of these things could be done right now, even if right now you don't have the income you'd like to be able to do this, but you have some free time, you could still use these first parts of this and schedule your life outside of work, then your work hours, but not your specific duties. So first, just schedule what would your schedule look like outside of work. And again, your schedule might be made by somebody else when you have to work, or you might make your own hours, or it might feel like someone tells you when you can work if you're an entrepreneur. And then you've got to decide you're going to move towards this 3-day weekend, 4-day work week schedule, or whatever it is that schedule that's best for you. So this first part is more about taking on the challenge or the idea of it. Then we got to look at, well, how we're going to plan this. Because if all we do is think about this is just a wish, it's an idea. And sure, eventually it might build some momentum, but it's not as strong if we don't have a plan. So then we need to come right down to earth and say, okay, what's the income that's going to be necessary to support this lifestyle? Now, the really cool thing is a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with, when they do this math and they list out what they'd like to have happen in their life, they realize they've been making the income for years that's enough for them to do this. They've just not made this plan for it to happen. So sometimes it can happen very quickly. Identify the results and the projects that'll provide the desired outcome. So it might be a certain type of work you do. If you have a certain business and you sell, let's say, 5 different products, you might say, well, wait, these 2 products are really most important. Or if you offer services, these certain services are most important. Or if you have a job and you work for somebody else, even though some of this topic and what we're talking about today won't apply to you, but this overall concept of, hey, these are the parts of my job where I make the most money. Or if you're an employee and you're a highly paid employee based on sales commissions, whatever it might be. So identify those projects and then eliminate all the activity and projects that don't support these top 2 projects. And this is why, while it is reasonable for an employee to get to this stage over a longer period of time, it's very possible for an entrepreneur to get here in a short period of time because you can make these decisions, what you're going to eliminate, if there are things that really are not supporting your most important projects. And then essential activity that can be done by a competent person, and you can make a profit on it by outsourcing it to somebody else and you making money while you're doing another part of work in your business, well, then you could be delegating that. And then there's just the doing it part, focusing on the critical few projects that you need to do to obtain your desired results. Finalize your schedule to make sure you're implementing those vital few projects. Track your activities, the projects, and the reports to make sure everything's going well. And then adjust your game plan, adjust your strategy as you go forward, making sure things are getting you the results you need and working the way you want. And so if you bring this to a little bit more of a specific way of doing things and going into the math, one of the tools we have is a software-based tool that helps you do this. And in this tool, you can actually list out, what are those things that you would do and who you do them with, when you would do those and how often, specific time that you would do those. And usually when you decide, there's also going to be some sort of action you're going to need to take. So in this case, to have number 2 date night happen, this couple says, we need to get a babysitter to make that happen. So we have a target date we're going to do that by. Sometimes having things like, let's say, family dinner at a certain time might be something you just choose and make happen. And then in the example of going to the beach, it might be you need to finish work by a certain time in order to make that happen. Then you would go to creating the game plan and looking at what are those expenses you need to live the lifestyle you desire, and identify what are those projects that can help make that happen. From there, you would look to eliminate the things that are taking up your time but not getting results. So maybe certain meetings or certain projects you're working on that are not getting you results that you want. You need to make sure that you eliminate those. And then there'd be certain things that you could delegate that, again, if you can do so profitably, you'd want to take a look at those. And then we'd want to look at your projects, of those different projects that you identified. So back here, we said, here's some different projects you do, and some of them earn certain amounts of income and so on. And you'd say, okay, based on those projects, what are the ones that I'm going to really focus on? So even though I could spend some time doing stuff that makes me 100 an hour or 200 an hour, I'm going to look to invest more of my time in that higher impact, higher income work. So in this case, this person's target income is $5,000, but their expected income would be more than that if they're able to make this happen. And it might not happen right away, but there's, again, a plan. There's a roadmap, a game plan on how to get there. And then we would look at planning out not only your weekends, but what you'd be doing specifically on each of these days at different times to make this happen and make it likely it's going to be real as opposed to simply hoping it happens. Then from there, we'd look at your game plan and say, let's track what are the projects, what income are we bringing in, and what are the expenses going out. And then as far as from a time standpoint, what tasks are you eliminating? What tasks are you delegating? And then you can track from a big picture standpoint, what's working, what's not working, and what do you need to adjust. So this particular tool, we have a tool called the 3-Day Weekend Game Plan. And this is something you can use, and you can get it. I'll show you where you can get it a little bit later. That's something you can do. If you really want to make things happen a little quicker, then there's the possibility for you to get involved in a program that can help you get to 3 days in 3 months in a shorter period of time. Now, again, this is for entrepreneurs making 80% of your target income for your desired lifestyle, usually working at least 40 hours a week. So some of the clients I work with are insurance agency owners, and they have a very steady business model that they've had the same income or a similar income or a growing income for years. Some of the clients I work with are online entrepreneurs or business owners where they're not as sure. So you want something to be steady. You want to at least have about a year's worth of income to at least know that these results can be done in this amount of time safely. It's possible they can be done sooner than that, but I try not to overpromise. And basically what we do is this program helps entrepreneurs make more money in less time, doing what you do best, so you can really start to fully enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. In my case, as I mentioned, it took me over 22 years, plus over $100,000 in coaching programs and just learning to create an abundant and sustainable 3-day weekend lifestyle where over 85% of the time, I'm enjoying 3-day weekends. This is something I can show you how to do. Chances are, and will definitely a lot less time than 22 years and for a lot less money. And so a 3-day weekend lifestyle allows you to fully enjoy your weekends, disconnect from your work, and be fully present with your family and your friends. You get to enjoy your favorite activities and savor your life and the most important people in it. From a business standpoint, you get to delegate the work you hate to do, focus on higher impact, higher income. Usually it's work that's more fun. Filter your clients so you only work with the best clients that really believe in your work, that want to pay you, that genuinely support you. These are the people that when you post something on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, they're supporting you. They're rooting you on. They want to see you do well. Share your highest purpose work with the world and grow your following, grow your income, and grow your business. And this isn't magic. There still will be parts of business that you have to do that maybe you don't love doing, but you can invest more of your time doing the things that are enjoyable, more of your time doing the work you believe in, and also having more time to enjoy life outside of work. So basically, this program is a 12-week program that consists of content and strategy videos, plus group implementation calls every week to make sure we're checking in to see how you're doing. There's email, community, and video support. So where you're in the program, if you decided to do that, you could send me the work that you're working on, and I'll send you back videos just like me talking to the camera like this, as if we were in a private coaching relationship to tell you, here's what's going on. Here's what you should do with this. So you do the work, you share the work with me. I give you back feedback. I don't share it with the community, but I share it with you. And it's likely, extremely likely, that you're going to be able to make more money in less time and enjoy your life more. And if you can't get the results that we know you can get and you do the work, gladly refund any investment you make in it money-wise. Can't invest your time, reinvest your time. That'd be really cool if I could do that. If I could do that, probably be doing other things. But anyway, this program is for the startup, the freelancer, the solopreneur, the entrepreneur who wants more time with loved ones, doing fun things, bigger results for clients and bigger income in return, greater opportunities to do the work you love, and larger business growth and impact on people. And again, startup in the sense of somebody younger but still has that year under your belt of making an income that's 80% or more of your target income. Think about 1 year of your time in your life and what it's worth to you. Every week you don't do this is another week that you're possibly losing out on. Every year is another 50 Fridays off or whatever days you could be taking off. And if you're working more than 5 days a week, then it could be even more than that. What could you do with this extra time? How could you enjoy your free time, your family? How could you show up as a more rested, happy person for your family? How could you enjoy life more, reconnect with friends, do activities you used to love doing? You can create more enjoyment and more freedom. This is one of those things that you're going to wish, if you did it, that you say, gosh, I wish I did this earlier. And if you don't do it, you're probably going to wish you'd done it. You can create more impact and more income now. And so what I want to suggest to you is you can invest in this program if you like or learn more about it. And if you want to do that, you can check in with me by messaging me or email me at wade@3dayweekendclub. But even if you don't do that, even if you don't take the program, listen to the podcast I have. Use the 3-Day Weekend Game Plan. That's also available on 3dayweekendclub.com, the site. Start your plan. Do it yourself. I have some people who listen to my content and they've done it themselves. I have some people who said, Wade, I just heard your message and I realized, you know what? I'm really not focused on Friday. I'm cutting out Fridays. I'm going to focus more these other 4 days. So if you decide you want help in the program, that's great. If you decide you don't need help and you just need to make a couple shifts, that's great too. But I really encourage you to start creating the life and the lifestyle you most desire. Again, if your income is already close enough, you can probably make this happen in a very short period of time. I've seen people do it in a week. I've seen people do it in 30 days. It really depends where you're at with your business. And if you're not yet there, then just start keeping in mind how you can make the most of your time outside of work and use this 3-day game plan to start putting together your 3-day weekend game plan and start using those ideas now and make the most of your free time. Spend it with the people you love most, the relationships you enjoy most. Make sure you're doing that as well. So I hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions on this or anything I can do to help you, please let me know. As always, I look forward to helping you help more people with your work and make more money in less time doing what you do best so you can better enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. Thanks so much for listening. Let me know whatever I can do to help you.